All right, guys, we got the Supra and Mike's 911 991.2, but guys, look at this. That's so bad. If you can't tell, that's the under splash guard tray, whatever you want to call it, on the Supra. Recently, if you guys saw in my last video about the Supra, we fixed every code, every error, every warning on the dash. Everything now works, but unfortunately, there's two like mechanical or physical things. he's recording me over there. It's two mechanical or like physical things that are holding the car back. That under tray, and then the other thing is the exhaust clamp that's underneath the car. But yo, for a second, can we just appreciate how good these two cars look together? Get out of my shop, Mike. the Porsche in black, the Supra in black. I feel like the Supra actually looks better with the Porsche than the M3. It's more of like a sleek two-door. Anyways, if you guys haven't been following Mike, you have, what are these wheels called?
Motivo motoring. Motivo forged.
Sure. All right. So, and then he also has AGT coilovers, thanks to Keys Motorsports. But yeah, it's looking good, bro.
It's pretty good.
I like it.
Came a long way.
Yeah.
Came a long way.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We'll definitely take it out for a drive one of these days, but not today. So we are back home, and now it's time to start fixing some of the last issues on this Supra. Like I was showing you guys before, look at this. This splash tray, whatever you want to call it, is absolutely destroyed. But yeah, guys, we got to close this because right now it's collecting leaves, it's dragging on the floor. And then not only that, we need to fix a few other issues. One of the issues that's been going on for a while is the exhaust. That clamp that holds on the downpipe to the exhaust broke a long time ago, back when I first bought this car, and I haven't fixed it since. So first thing though, we're gonna take care of this splash shield. But thankfully though, we found a used set off Facebook Marketplace. This comes with the centerpiece. It is missing some of the clips, like I think right over here, but it does come with most at least. And then we have the other side. So this one's gonna go right over here, and then this one is gonna go right over here. Now I know these are just plastics, and you're probably thinking, well, it's only dragging on the floor, it's not that serious. Well, something to keep in mind, guys, is these plastics help hold the front bumper on. And then not only that, I plan to drive this car in the winter, in the rain, in the snow, and everything. So like I said, guys, it's mainly disconnected already. All I think is holding it on is that one bolt right there. So hopefully, if I disconnect that, this whole thing will come off. All right, so moment of truth. There it is. This thing got absolutely abused. Thankfully though, we can probably reuse this clip. So at least we got some benefit of it. Otherwise, this thing's garbage. Oh, I made it. All right, so quick update. We got this one splash shield in. We also started putting in the middle one, which I need some like push clips or something to hold it in back here. And now we need to start doing this side, which the piece is still kind of currently attached. You guys can see this one is attached by, I kid you not, self-tapping screws. This piece is also still attached to the fender liner. It's also attached to this thing via zip ties. Yep, I said it once before and I'll say it again. Whoever rebuilt this car did a horrible job. These are literally self-tapping screws. We had zip ties holding this thing on. I mean, it's mainly gone. Like, there's pretty much nothing left from this. But on the bright side, we got all the splash shields installed. They're all holding on pretty well, I'd say. So in the front, it's mainly those same fender liner screws, which I kind of ran out of, so I'm just gonna order a whole bunch to secure all this in, both fender liners as well. And then in the rear, I think it's supposed to be like those push clips to hold it in, because it's definitely not bolts or screws. So unfortunately, I didn't have them, but what I did instead is use my rivet gun and basically just riveted it in, if that's a word. But now, as you guys can tell, this is all like solid. It's not flopping around. It's not gonna fall down. Not gonna lie to you guys, that took longer than I expected. I was expecting that to be like the easier job, but just lining everything up, trying to figure out where things go, and then also trying to figure out those rivets took a little more time. But for now, we're gonna move on to the next thing. So I don't wanna start the exhaust quite yet, but for now, let's get these windshield wipers on and give myself a bit of a break. You know what's really funny? It's not even that the entire blade fell off. Like, where it attaches to the rest of it that attaches to the car is what fell off. Like, look at this. This piece is still here. I don't know, weird. Anyways, we got some new ones from Michelin. These ones are supposed to be really good, and this is supposed to be the size for the Supra, so 21 for the passenger, 22 for the driver, or at least that's what Michelin told us. These things are also universal, and you can change the adapter, so they should be able to work on the Supra. I've never used them before. Usually I get them from FCP Euro, but for whatever reason, they did not have them in stock, so we're gonna use oops, we're gonna use these ones, and hopefully they're good. And legit, like 2 seconds later, we're all set. Super easy, super simple. I actually have some for my X5 as well, which I would do right now, but the X5 isn't here right now. And if you guys are wondering why, well, stay tuned for some future videos, because it's not great news. But I don't want to spoil the mood right now, because we are actually on a good roll with the Supra. The next thing we're gonna do is start the exhaust. Now to do this, guys, we're going to drop the entire exhaust, because that tack weld for that old clamp is on the top, and I can't get there with the grinder while it's on the car. Now, if you guys never removed an exhaust off a BMW or a GR Supra, usually there's a exhaust hanger right over here, another one over there, and then one in the middle, and I believe we also have a brace in the center as well, kind of similar to my G80 M3. I'm gonna start off in the front over there, where it's a little lighter, and it's also gonna be a little more annoying because that's where it connects to the downpipe. And when you undo it from the downpipe, you kind of have to like hammer it away, because they overlap each other. And since this car is still rusted, because it's not a new car anymore, it's a bit of a pain. You can't just pull them apart. You have to literally like hammer away at it. This is again turning into something that's a lot more difficult than I was anticipating. This brace right over here is a pain in the butt. There is so many bolts holding this in, some of which you can't really notice or tell. There was 13 mils, there was 8 mils, there was external 16 or 14 mils. There was a lot to it. Literally, the one on the M3 is so much easier. Regardless though, we got it off and we're done with that. Now what we have to do is, which I actually already did, is undo the one nut holding up the exhaust close by the downpipe. I already did that. I actually already hammered it out, so it's mainly out. What we have to do now is undo this hanger, that hanger, and I believe there's one more, or maybe two more. There's definitely one more right over there. I don't know if you guys can see that. So at that point, the exhaust should be free and it should be able to come down. So I needed a deep 13 mil socket, which I probably should have figured. The amount of times, guys, that I've crawled in and out of underneath this car is absolutely insane. Which, speaking of, I need to do again, because I need to get to, oops, I need to get to those exhaust hangers. So I wouldn't exactly call that fun, but we got the exhaust out, and now we can properly start working on this thing. I wish, guys, I was doing this to swap it out for a new exhaust, but we're not doing that. Not yet, at least. We will maybe in the future, but right now we can finally fix this thing, which is the stupid clamp that they put on these things that is tack weld. As you guys can see, I kind of snapped mine because it was so rusted, so I was never able to fully close this thing. So whenever I turn on the car, whenever I drive, this thing would rattle and vibrate so much. It's getting so annoying. No way would have been able to get to this, at least safely, while the exhaust was on the car. But right now, we're gonna grab the grinder. All right, guys, it's been some time. Specifically, it's been like 5 days or so. And as you guys can tell, the exhaust is still not back onto the Supra. That's because when I took the exhaust off, I grinded the old clamp off, and I was waiting for Amazon to bring me my new clamp. Unfortunately, it turned out to be the wrong size. This is actually the second time that I ordered a clamp and it turned out to be the wrong size. So rather than waiting, rather than ordering another one, we went with an alternative. And that is what I probably should have just done from the beginning. So I just went to Home Depot. I took my old clamp, which is this right over here, which I did try to bend back into shape, and I got some new hardware for it. Now, is this the best option? Probably not. As you guys can tell, it did take some abuse. It is what it is, lesson learned. This is the part that I dread the most, is getting the exhaust attached to the downpipe, because it doesn't exactly just slide right on. What we have to pretty much do, hold the downpipe, pretty much hammer away until the exhaust is attached. Sorry if I'm blocking the view by right now. You know, my main priority is getting this done, not making a YouTube video, so. All right, guys, it's been some time. I was working on the exhaust for longer than I would have liked. Long story short, it was a win, but not fully a win. So we got the exhaust back on, but that clamp, man, it was just driving me crazy. At some point, I just gave up. I mean, listen, guys, at the end of the day, it's at least not on the car, and I turned it on. I'm actually driving it now to see, one, if the exhaust will shake off, which I doubt it will. But anyways, now it's traction control. The car slips out because of these tires, but the traction control will still try to bring it in. But anyways, yes, we at least got the exhaust clamp off. It's not rattling, it's not shaking. We obviously fixed the like little splash shields in the front, so nothing's falling off. Like the car right now, guys, is fully functioning. I do have a low tire pressure thing, but I'm also charging my little inflator. Unfortunately, the battery died before I took off for a drive, and I didn't want to wait for it to charge. Yeah, guys, we're pretty much good, man. Like, the Supra, in my opinion, is done. There's still some stuff to do and things like that, but I can tell by the views that people are kind of losing interest in, you know, fixing up the Supra. So I'm not gonna film too much of that. I might do a lot of stuff off camera, like that clamp. I'm gonna try to figure out the whole interior thing with it, like missing the pieces over there. I might do that off camera. Again, you know, I try to like look at the views and what people are interested in. It seems like people are losing interest in this type of stuff. But since I first started filming this video, something came in the mail. Well, not something, a lot of things. So right now, I'm just gonna drive around the block just to make sure we're all good. Sorry if the lighting's pretty bad. We need to adjust the window tints in here. Again, something else I might just do off camera, but we have some really exciting stuff, guys. I mean, I probably spoiled it in the title and the thumbnail already, but we are gonna start modding the Supra. It's now in my opinion, a good enough spot where everything is fully functioning, at least, that we can start modifying this car. So for once, I drove the Supra and I wasn't disappointed by something falling off, something breaking. Yeah, we have the low tire pressure thing, but that's easy, guys. But anyways, I wanna show you what I'm sure you clicked on this video for, and that's those boxes right over there. Now, some of these boxes, well, actually one specifically is pretty obvious what it is. If you guys can't tell by that, well, you just have to wait and find out. But we have a few other boxes. Now, let me just say, guys, this is not everything. We still have a lot more on the way. So huge shout out and thank you to the guys at Keys Motorsports. If you guys didn't know, they actually sponsored the M3. So all the parts, or at least most of the parts, a vast majority of them, were sent over by Keys Motorsports. They sponsored that car, so they helped me out with the build. And they're doing the same for the Supra. So that means we're gonna be able to modify this thing at a rate much faster than I'd be able to just myself. So huge thank you to Keys Motorsports. So I'm not gonna show you guys exactly what's in these boxes. You can probably guess, but we have a good amount of stuff from aesthetic, performance, and then, like I said, we have a lot more coming. And then, guys, I don't wanna give too much away. Let's just say that with the M3, I did everything myself, if you guys watched me build that car. But the Supra, it's not gonna be just me. We'll put it that way. If you guys wanna see all that, stay tuned, hit that subscribe button. We've been really fixing up the Supra, but going forward, we're gonna be mainly modifying it and just having more fun with it, which I'm really excited about. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna wrap up this video here, but if you enjoyed it, please drop it a like. It helps me out way more than you realize. And yeah, with that said, this video is pretty much done. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.